It's wonderful to be here, and it was a real honor and a surprise to receive that award. It has been a very interesting month in Nashville and in the state of Tennessee. And I think one of the things that certainly has been underscored in the last month has been the need for regional cooperation. When I was running for mayor, I would talk about the need for regional cooperation and talk about how issues such as transportation clearly go across county lines, and so does air in terms of environmental issues. I talked about the need to share water. I didn't think of it quite the way that we were sharing water on May 1st and May 2nd. I mean, clearly floodwaters do not respect or know county or city lines, and that what happens in dams and streams upstream will affect everybody downstream. And we can get wrapped up thinking only about our local areas when it's pretty clear that we're all in this together. And as mayor of Nashville, I'm glad we have this chance to get together with our regional friends, because it's really an opportunity for me to say what I will say in probably a more formal way through letters and when we get a chance to breathe here. But thank you. Thank you for being there for us. Thank you for offering to help. I mean, each and every county around us extended a hand. While we've been going through this issue of conserving water, I want to specifically mention the Harpeth Valley and the West Wilson water utility districts for providing water to Nashville and helping us get through this successfully, which we are getting through it successfully. I don't want to start mentioning all the different political jurisdictions who have helped us in the last month, but there are many. And it is, to be on the receiving end is a humbling thing, but it's also something that doesn't surprise me, and I knew everybody would be there. It was the Thursday before the storm on Riverfront Park here in Nashville that I gave the State of Metro speech, which is a speech where the mayor, according to the Metro Charter, talks about his or her aspirations for the city, talks about where the mayor sees the city at a given point and the things the city needs to be working on. And in that speech on Riverfront Park, it was a sunny day that Thursday, and there was no water there yet. It was underwater by the end of the day on Sunday. But I talked about all the great things we have in Nashville and in Middle Tennessee, that we are the center of the healthcare industry. We are the Silicon Valley of healthcare. We have this fantastic music industry that has really stepped up in every way during this crisis. We have a wonderful hospitality industry. We're building a new convention center, which is going to double the number of conventioners that can come here. That we have incredible institutions of higher education, incredible cultural assets. I talked about the need to continue to work on education and public safety and economic development, and I talked about the need for us to work on transportation and to do that on a regional basis. As I was concluding my speech, and let me just tell you, I am capable of giving the 45-minute speech right now, if you'd like. I don't have to. So, at the conclusion of that speech, I said, if I had to describe Nashville and my feelings about Nashville right now in one word, that word would be optimistic. And then we had this flood. And we've all been busy for the last month now in terms of the recovery from that flood. But if you ask me today what is the one word I would use to describe my thoughts about the city of Nashville or this region as a whole, it would be optimistic. And I would underline the word optimistic about 5 times now, because all the material things that I talked about at the State of Metro speech, our healthcare industry, the medical mart that we're working on building, the new convention center, hospitality, the music industry, our great institutions of higher education, our dreams for mass transit, our dreams for the future. We still have all of that. We still have every bit of it. But the one thing we know now about ourselves as a city and as a region is that we are people who care about each other, people who are going to help when the chips are down. And when the work has to be done in the final analysis, it's going to be us doing it. And that's a good thing to know. So I can't help to be anything but optimistic, because what we're talking about here in terms of this regionalism and transportation effort is getting the work done and knowing that in the final analysis, the work that has to be done will be done by us here in Middle Tennessee. And we'll get it right, and we'll move forward, and we will continue to be, I think, the very best place in the United States to live. The conversation regarding transportation and regionalism has been going on for a number of years, and it really came to a head, I think, at last year's annual regional summit, where we gathered to learn what other regions around the country are doing to stay ahead of congestion and gridlock, to make their communities more attractive to businesses and to provide a higher quality life for their citizens. Places like Denver, Austin, and Charlotte are our competition for jobs and economic prosperity, are moving ahead of us in terms of innovations in transportation. They are doing great things for their communities by investing wisely in critical transportation infrastructure. Across the nation, regions are trying to offer walkable communities, access to fast and convenient mass transit choices, at the same time continuing to maintain and expand roadways and take care of bridges. National policy is shifting towards rewarding those regions that have started to think creatively about how to keep people and freight moving efficiently. At last year's summit, I asked the region to come together to do several things. One, to form an alliance of public and private interests dedicated to helping the region realize its potential for mass transit. Two, to establish a regional mayor's caucus to build the important political relationships across cities and counties so that we can work together. Three, to develop a bold plan for transportation. And four, to figure out how to get it all implemented. I'm pleased to report that since last year's summit, the Transit Alliance has been formed representing the private sector. The mayors, under the great leadership of Mayor Graves, meet regularly as the mayor's caucus. And the chambers of commerce are also beginning to meet regularly to discuss regional issues. Today, we are here to present to you the major policy initiatives of the Nashville Area MPO as it finalizes the draft regional transportation plan to set forth a vision of transportation for the year 2035. The development of the draft plan has been bolstered by new partnerships among public and private sector organizations, including the Mayor's Caucus, the Transit Alliance in Middle Tennessee, Area Chambers of Commerce, Cumberland Region Tomorrow, and the Greater Nashville Regional Council, Transit Now, and others. There are three major policy initiatives that we, as mayors, feel is at the core of this region's approach to transportation and community development. First, we need to develop a bold new vision for mass transit to guide us into the 21st century. We may not be able to fully fund this vision with our current resources, but we know we cannot stand on the sideline as other metropolitan areas across the nation move ahead. Second, we need to support active modes of transportation like walking and bicycling to foster healthier communities. Making our cities and towns more walkable also is necessary to support our strategies to improve transit. Finally, we need to ensure that we continue to preserve and enhance our roadway system. We need to fix what we have and make our roads safer and more efficient. These three initiatives will ensure a plan that addresses traffic congestion, roadway safety, national security, energy dependence, and environmental concerns, and economic prosperity. The mayors that serve on the MPO are set to adopt a plan in October. I invite you to participate in the process via the web or by attending meetings or workshops between then and now. We know that we cannot stand still, that we have a choice to not have business as usual, that we need to move beyond towards solutions that really will promote economic vitality, safeguard our beautiful countryside, and protect our pocketbooks and our communities, and we should do this together. And I thank you all for being here, and I look forward to another successful year moving forward on transportation solutions for this entire region. Thank you.